Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today, well, we're looking at something that is now, well, definitely quite old, is very collectible and is becoming increasingly harder to find, especially these older versions of these programs. We are looking at the 1982 release by Fanderson of their Fanderson 82 convention program. Now, Fanderson is the official appreciation society for the works of the British film and television producers Gerry and Sylvia Anderson. They're based in the UK, but with an international membership, and it's a non-profit organisation run by a small committee of volunteers. The club's endorsed by ITV Studios and Global Entertainment. And the indestructible production company, Anderson Entertainment, and the family of Sylvia Anderson. It was formed in August 1981 at a meeting which was convened by ITC and Gerry Anderson. Now, previously, there had been a number of different Gerry Anderson fan clubs. But ITC decided that they wanted the clubs to merge into one group. So that's basically what happened there, and it became the Fanderson official Gerry Anderson fan club. And as a result, ITC supported the clubs with unconditional backing except for financial support. Last count, the club had well over 3,500 members, and Gerry Anderson was the club's honorary president until his death in 2012. As a member, you receive the club magazine, which is called Fab, and that gets published usually 2 to 3 times a year, as well as exclusive merchandise, books, DVDs, soundtracks, and so on. And also they have fairly regular conventions with actors and people behind the camera appearing as guests. Now, this particular one we're looking at was only for the second convention they produced. Remember, the club was formed in 81. The first one was in 81. This is the second convention that they did. And this is the program in front of us. And it says Fanderson 82. And you can see you've got images at the top there of the supercar. And you've got characters, well, you've got Stingray there. You've got characters from supercar. Looks like you've got Napoleon Solo down there. I don't remember him being part of Fanderson, but maybe that's supposed to be somebody else. But anyway, there's Colonel White. I think that's supposed to be Gay Ellis, and that's supposed to be Fourth of the Fours. But why is Napoleon Solo on there? I'm not quite sure about that. Anyway, that's the front of the cover. Let's turn it over and have a look at the back. And then the back is almost the same, but you've got the Thunderbird 2 image there, Scott Tracy and Steve Zodiac here from Fireball XL5, and it says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fanderson is go, and there is the Fireball XL5 rocket, and again there's characters from the Anderson TV series. So Joe 90 there. There's the Dr. Helena Russell as a Reverend from Secret Service. And I think that's Jimmy from Fireball XL5. Anyway, okay, that's the 2 covers. Let's turn it back over. Let's open it up and let's have a look at the contents. Okay, so I have opened the book, and this is the first page. And it says Fanderson, the official Gerry Anderson's Appreciation Society, PO Box 308 London W41QL UK. Welcome to Fanderson 82. 18 months ago in Leeds, we held the first British Gerry Anderson convention. Since that time, all the television regions have repeated many of Gerry's shows. Episodes have also been released on video, and just a few weeks ago came the news that all of us have been waiting for. Gerry is to make a new puppet series. We are sure that every one of you will join with us in wishing Gerry and his team at Brace Studios all the good wishes with the Terrahawks. At last, one of the greatest television producers in the world is back in business. At this year's convention, we have many more of our friends coming from overseas to join us. Whether you have come thousands of miles or just a few, we hope that this weekend will be one that you will enjoy and remember for a long time. Once again, we are donating all the proceeds from Fanderson 82 to Dr. Bernardo's. Last year, we raised £1,200. We hope that at Fanderson 82, we will be just as successful. We would like to thank every single one of you for your help and support over the last 18 months. Without you, we could not have done it. Fanderson is definitely go, and that was by Pamela Barnes, who was the chairman of Fanderson at the time. Okay, let's turn the page over. And what have we got? Okay, so we've got acknowledgements to all our guests. Don Mead and John Keeble of ITC Entertainment Limited. Peter Gray and Suzanne Ross Bain of ATV Licensing Limited. Margaret Ardley of Dr. Bernardo's, Leslie Ingram and the staff of the Bloomsbury Crest Hotel, Peter Knight of London Express News and Feature Services for the loan of original TV21 artwork, Mike Warlow of Mobile Merchandising. The Space 1999 brochures and posters have been most generously donated by ITC Entertainment Limited on the strict understanding that they shall not be resold. Contents: Profile of Gerry Anderson by Ralph Titterton, Profile of Barry Gray by Ralph Titterton, Profile of Shane Rimmer by Barbara Kitson, Profile of Martin Bauer by Alan Vince, Profile of Ed Bishop by Helen McCarthy, and Profile of Ron Embleton by Alan Vince. The convention book cover was designed by Steve Kite. The convention bag was designed by Charlie Starkey and printed by Badger Services. Progress reports organised by Pamela Barnes and Barbara Kitson. Typesetting of the convention book by Alan Vince, for which we would like to express our grateful thanks. Thanks also to Insight Design of Rochester, Kent for the use of the IBM machine. Then it lists the Fanderson 82 committee and the photograph of Martin Bauer by Paul Holord, photograph of Ron Embleton by Penthouse Magazine. All other photographs are copyright of ITC Entertainment Limited. No part of this publication may be copied in any form without the express permission of the organisers, and it's copyright Fanderson 82. So there we have the first profile, and that's of Gerry Anderson. And it says, we start it off, we're not going to read it all. It says, in the last Fanderson convention book, I had the pleasure of outlining Gerry's career up to the 1980s. Now with this second convention book, let us look beyond that time and to build to the start of production on the Terrahawks. And of course, the Terrahawks was successful for a short while. We then go on to Barry Gray. Barry Gray obviously was the composer of the music for Thunderbirds. And it says, Barry Gray was born in Lancashire of musical parents who gave him every possible encouragement. He commenced studying at the age of 5 with a noted piano teacher who was also a sound theorist, and this gentleman was received to remark, here's a young lad who takes to manuscript paper like a duck takes to water. Okay, I won't read any more, but that's all about the great Barry Gray. And then we've got none other than the voice of Scott Tracy, Shane Rimmer. And again, that's another profile name. So Shane Rimmer, his real name was born in Toronto. Oh, so Shane Rimmer is his real name. Was born in Toronto, Canada, but brought up in Chicago, USA. Both of his parents were born in the UK. His father in Belfast, his mother in Durham, but emigrated to Canada. Shane has kept his Canada citizenship. He left school after the equivalent of English A-levels and went to Lawn Green Radio's Academy. He had no real idea of what he wanted to do. He wanted to get into radio. I was just attracted to it, but felt that his involvement would be on the writing side. Okay, so that's the bio of... It also gives his credits of what he's done also throughout his career there, up until obviously 1982. And then, of course, Ed Bishop, who we all know as the Commander Straker from UFO, sorry. And obviously he was a voice of Captain Blue, and voiced lots of different things for the Andersons. And there's a bio on the great Ed Bishop there. It said, it may be hard to associate the brown velvet voice purring over a jeans commercial and the clipped tones of Commander Straker. But for some time now, Ed Bishop has made advertising voice overs a very successful sideline to his varied acting career. His most recent TV appearance as fast-talking Jay Garrick in Whoops Apocalypse displayed a gift for the comic timing, also unused in his work for Gerry Anderson. It's hard to imagine Captain Blue rattling off descriptions of global disaster as if they were tote prices or inviting his audience to have a cookie. There we go. So that is Ed Bishop. And of course, Martin Bower. Now, Martin Bower's been in a lot of different things. He was also working on Doctor Who. He done Space 1999. Many others. So Martin Bower left school at 17 without any real qualifications. Throughout his school life, he had made models of anything from Viking ships to the Loch Ness Monster in plasticine. Strangely enough, he only made the odd spacecraft during his time. However, he was greatly inspired at the age of 8 when a program called Supercar was launched onto the screen. He made endless balsa wood models of the craft, and most of the craft which were to appear in later Gerry Anderson series. Okay, so there we go. Let's move on from him. And Ron Embleton. Again, it's a bio of him. It says Ronald S. Embleton, Royal Institute of Oil Painters and National Society of Painters and Sculptors, sold his first strip cartoon at the age of 17 and has since become one of the most prolific painters and illustrators in the world. Okay, and then we're going on to events that's going on. So we've got Question Promotions presents Gerry Anderson's Four Feather Falls at Fanderson 82. Marvel at the episode Kidnapped and a Little Bit of Luck. Buy your choice of memorabilia at the Fanderson Club table. Place your bids for the unrepeatable item found in the Fanderson auction and watch out for questions. Here's watching you. And then there's information on Dr. Bernardo's at the bottom there. And then we got some great images from the making of the TV series. Now this one is of, what are we doing here? Looks like Fireball XL5. And there you got all the characters from Fireball XL5, Steve Zodiac, Venus, Robert the Robot, the Professor there, and so on. And of course, if I just turn that down there, we can see the pictures from Stingray, so Troy Tempest, Phones, Marina, Atlanta, Commander Shaw, Titan, and Agent X20. And of course, Thunderbirds, Jeff Tracy, Scott Tracy, Virgil Tracy, Gordon Tracy, Alan Tracy, Lady Penelope, Brains, and John Tracy. And of course, we have the four main Thunderbird machines: Thunderbird 1, Thunderbird 2, Thunderbird 3, and Thunderbird 4. All lovely black and white images from the day. Oh, and of course, there's more there. So we've got Thunderbird 5, Tracy Island, Fab 1, and the Fire Flash. And of course, there we have Captain Scarlet, Captain Green, Captain Blue, and the two of the Angels. Right. Okay, we're going to have to stay this way, I think. And of course, we've got Joe 90 in various different poses from the TV series. And of course, we've got the Secret Service there. And if I lift the next page up, we then go on to the live action. And that's obviously from UFO. And there from Space 1999, the cast of season 1. The next page brings us to an end. So that back page was there for you to collect your autograph. The autographs could be signed at the back of the program there. So there we are. I did think of everything. Okay, and that brings us to the end of the Fanderson 82 convention program. Okay, well, I can hear you asking, well, how well did it do? Well, from what I can understand, it was as popular as Fanderson 81, and they did raise a similar amount of money for the Bernardo's charity. I think it might have been a little bit more than 1,200. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but they did raise a similar amount of money. There was quite a few guests there, and there was a few events going on. So apparently, I didn't get to attend it, unfortunately. I was too young at the time. But it was apparently a very, very good event to attend, which obviously we're going back 43 years ago. Things have changed somewhat since then, and things have moved on. So, but at that time, it was one of the early conventions of a lot of things going on. They didn't have a lot of conventions around those days, so it was kind of like groundbreaking in the fact that they were attempting to do them every year. So yeah, I think it was fairly successful. I don't know how many of these brochures were produced, and I don't know how many of them were sold. This one's obviously an unused one. Does have a little bit of wear where it's been sitting on a shelf, but generally it's in very, very good condition. Okay, let's move forward 43 years to 2025, which is where we are today. Do these come up for sale very often on the platforms? Well, you do see them appear on the platforms very occasionally. Some people have had them ever since they went to the event. Some people have autographs in them. Those are the ones they appear on the platforms. Very, very expensive, obviously, because of probably a lot of the people that were the guests at these events are no longer with us, sadly. So they are quite expensive as they appear on the platforms, but they do occasionally, if you really want one and you want one with signatures on, then keep your eye on the platforms, because eventually one of them will turn up. However, usual thing on platforms, be a bit careful, because you could be looking at one that shows autographs and find that you just get a blank one because you're looking at stock images with stock descriptions. If on those platforms, if it's one with the stock images, do click the used link and read what you're about to order to prevent any disappointment when it arrives. And also remember that there's a very wide scope between somebody's idea of very good condition and somebody's idea of acceptable condition, depending on their opinion. So again, just be a bit careful of that, and do have a good read of the description and good look at the images if you intend to buy on a platform. Or alternatively, you can come to us at Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles, where what you see in front of us is exactly the item you will receive should you wish to order. And in this case, this is the exact item you will receive. We only have one of these, and as of today, this item is available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Gerry Anderson items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I'm absolutely positive this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there is something in particular you are looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful Fanderson 82 convention program with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.